this computer. Yep, that's right. She lets us know. She tells us how it is.
She does let us
know. Hey,
know.
YouTubers, this is that sweet Bobo content that you get.
Bobo content.
And we're gonna jump right in until I get the heads up for the other video to say go live, because yeah, man, dude. Portugal played Ireland today, and Ireland scored.
Yes.
And it was 1-0 for a long time. And Portugal just kept beating on the door. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy. Okay, Portugal's got he's been around for a minute. But his name's Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he scored 2-headed goals in the last 7 minutes to win the thing. And he's just unstoppable. You can't do a damn thing about it.
Poor Ireland.
And look, I'll say this. From an aesthetic perspective, if you're a Messi person, I have no problem with that. I get it. He's beautiful to watch. He is absolutely a part of the conversation. But I think
it's Cristiano Ronaldo,
in my opinion, this is all right. I'm about to throw a hot take out there. So get ready, folks.
Wait. Oh. I'm gonna sit back.
Cristiano Ronaldo is the only person I've ever seen that I would say is every bit as dedicated to winning, if not more so, than Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. I think he is absolutely on par when it comes to, I will do whatever it takes to beat you, and any slight you throw my way is motivation for me to come back at you. And he's now literally won everything there is to win except the World Cup. I mean, he's got a European Cup. He's been World Player of the Year. He's got Champions Leagues with multiple teams. He's won titles with multiple teams. I mean, I've always said I'm just happy that we live in the era where we get to see Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, and I find the conversation tedious, but I'm a Ronaldo guy, and it's stuff like this that reinforces it for me. He has changed his game over the years, and when winning is on the line, he absolutely figures out how to do it. And that's Messi largely has too. He just doesn't seem to approach it in such a cutthroat manner as Cristiano does. And to me, it's reminiscent of MJ and Kobe. You almost just don't want to sometimes be in a room with these guys, because when it comes to winning, they suck all the air out of the room. But that said, it was a beautiful performance. It was actually kind of shitty. I mean, they played right into Ireland's hands after Ireland got the goal. So, but I mean, if Cristiano's on the field and there's time on the clock, y'all got a problem on your hands. So, hey, everybody, I think we're probably live at this point.
We are live right now.
Welcome to it was much cooler today.
Oh man,
I woke up to a nice breezy morning. It's been in the 90s for damn near 10 days straight. And so a day
seemed like a decade, dude. It seemed like a decade.
It felt like it. And the funny thing is we're going to spend the next 10 days not quite getting to 80 degrees. It's going to be high 70s and low 60s, high 50s for nighttime. So it's time to get some fires going at night.
Fire pits, baby.
Maybe even bust out. My favorite song this time of year is Billy Idol's Light Sweater, to the tune of White Wedding.
Oh, white.
It's a nice day for light sweater.
Very nice. Very nice
day for a
I go a little more
cardigan.
I was gonna say I go a little more vanilla. I go a little more cream puff. It is Barefoot Blue Jean Night by Jake Owen, baby.
Oh.
I'm just saying,
Right.
I do. It speaks to my Southeastern Ohio piece.
I totally get it. I totally get it. Well, folks, we're glad you've tuned in with us. We've got some interesting topics to get to tonight. It was nice to wake up this morning to some cool weather, but the second you turned on the news, it kind of turned sour because we've just gotten out of Afghanistan, and we'll probably get to that. We've ended the longest war we've been in. And the Taliban have taken over that country. We had to negotiate with them. There's some discussion to be had around that. But the Texas Taliban today has gone forward with enacting the strictest, most restrictive anti-abortion laws we've ever seen.
6 weeks.
6 weeks, which is most people do not know they're pregnant after 6 weeks. But the bigger issue and the reason why it had a lot more success passing is because it didn't rely on legislators in the state of Texas to enforce it. It's basically turning your neighbors into vigilantes. The whole Nazi comparison thing is sometimes not fair. But I mean, this is that kind of stuff. Hey, turn in your neighbor because they're doing something we don't think we should do. And again, this is the hypocrisy of the modern GOP in action. They complain that, masks, mandates and things like that, my body, my choice. But they still want to dictate what women can do. They want to put their own belief system over others. That the sign of a heartbeat makes it, a full-fledged human being, which obviously is not the case. But when you woke up, Evan, what, after you sipped your coffee and sat down and saw the news, I mean, where do we go with this stuff?
I actually found out about it last night, watching Rachel Maddow. And I know that surprises so many people that I watch Rachel Maddow, but no, she was awesome because she was like one of the first ones to kind of take a look at it and say, hey guys, at midnight, this very well could happen if the Supreme Court doesn't do anything. And of course, Supreme Court did not do anything.
Well, I have some thoughts on that, but continue.
Yeah. Okay. Here's where I'm at with this. And I think, our watchers and right now our, IO, I think we keep coming back to this cadence every single time we talk about stuff like this, Aaron. And it's, are you surprised? I'm not surprised. This is where the Democratic Party lacks so much. The GOP ground game is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And here's why, is because it just seems like Democrats tend to focus on the larger picture, which in the grand scheme of things, yes, absolutely. We need to be big picture. But these local elections, school board elections, local government, city government, county government, these type of, government places, these type of places where we elect officials, Republicans are killing us. And this is the result. You build that ground game to the point to where you have such control over those local pieces to where you now can elect representatives that will do your bidding. Because we saw it with Trump, right? I mean, we're seeing it with Kevin McCarthy. He has no spine, none whatsoever. And he will go wherever the wind blows him. And usually that's, Trump, whichever way Trump goes.
You're saying whichever way Trump blows him?
Or vice versa. There you go. The vice versa. But I say all that to say this is that I'm fearful that we constantly, when we get a big win, when we get a big victory, we take our eyes off the prize. And all of this stuff happened, Aaron. I mean, this stuff has been happening. And for for us to allow this to happen, and I say us, obviously we don't live in Texas, but I say us, we're really just now learning about the possibility of this like a day or two ahead of time. What the hell? I mean, what? I guess the baffling thing for me, and I want to hear you on this. The most baffling thing for me is like, why are we just now hearing about this? This flies in the face of Roe. It flies in the face of Roe, and it's like, I know you have some thoughts about that as far as the Supreme Court's concerned, but to allow this, to happen, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not sure where I stand with that. So I'm eager to hear about what you think.
Well, I'm as angry as you are and disappointed in a lot of Democratic responses to things. That said, Texas is and has been a very firmly red state for a long time. And we saw recently the Democrats in the state of Texas take an unprecedented move to all leave the state in order to try to hold up the sweeping restrictive voting stuff, legislation that was going on. And I thought that was a very bold move. And along with this, those restrictive voting, that legislation, that's passed too. So I guess my question, and I guess a little pushback is, what do you think Democrats could have done to prevent this from happening?
I guess what I'm doing is you're absolutely right. I guess I'm more lamenting. It literally is a genuine lament. I have no answers for this, Aaron, and I'm not sure anybody does, other than just it's almost like, let it be what it is. Let it be what it is. And if you want to live there, great. But
I've been all for Texas seceding for a long time. And this is another reason for me to say I have no interest in visiting the place. Everything about it sounds like, to quote our former TFG, I consider Texas to be a shithole state. I don't really want to go there. And the people that I have met and I consider to be decent folks fucking got out for a reason.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It sucks. It sucks for those people because once again, as well as I do, unlike a lot of Republicans who are wondering, well, why can't Black people just move away from New Orleans? Anyway, we'll come back to that. But, those folks who are there, those folks who call Texas home, those folks who, I do not know what it is to be in their specific shoes. Right. But as a minority population, I understand the frustration that they probably are feeling right now. It's like, oh my God, what the hell is happening? This does not represent me. Right. It does not represent what I believe. It doesn't represent what I think. It is so far to the right.
Yeah. It's Handmaid's Tale shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's not representative. When you take the oath to be a representative, you take an oath to be a representative of everyone in your district. Well, everyone.
Trump made it clear that that's not the case anymore.
Well, sure.
He said it out loud that he basically does not care to legislate and lead anyone who didn't vote for him. And I think that's the stance of, DeSantis and Abbott and McCarthy and all these, Hawthorne and Colley.
Brooks.
They truly do not care about anyone who didn't vote for them for a variety of reasons. But I found something curious. The Supreme Court just opted to not do anything about this, which tacitly approves it, of course.
Yeah.
But there aren't 9 conservative justices. Sotomayor and oh shit, the other female. I apologize for spacing her name right now.
Oh geez.
Right. Yeah.
And Kagan.
But
No.
yes, Elena
Kagan.
Kagan.
No.
Yes.
Kagan.
The liberal wing has been just as quiet. And those are very, very smart people. And it leads me to believe that there's either some sort of loophole type thing here that either they're not concerned about, or they believe it will be challenged on another in another way on another level. The initial response the argument being made on behalf of conservative justices, but not from the justices themselves, is that the clinics can't show the harm that will happen to them because this law passes, and that's the onus that is on a certain group of people, because it's not being enforced by legislators, because it's coming about, that's sort of the end around. Io hit it on the head, and that's kind of what I was getting at. Texas is a firmly red state, and the red states have gerrymandered the shit out of it. I mean, you look at Jim Jordan's district in Ohio, and it might
be there forever.
It might as well have been drawn by Donald Trump's Sharpie, because it's goofy looking as shit, and it's distinctly meant to provide him a very specific voting block of predominantly white people. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're even affluent. It's just white. So, that's the thing that Democrats have got to figure out. And I think we're seeing, a bit of fight being put up with regard to fighting back against the whole gerrymandering stuff. It's not easy to do. The best solution is obviously to have a third party come in and draw the lines in a way that benefits everybody.
That's not going to happen.
Well, it got approved in Georgia or South Carolina or something like that. So it's going to be incremental, and unless somebody does something on a federal level.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a problem. What I find kind of interesting too is when Democrats get in charge, they don't try to, as far as I know, they don't try to gerrymander and redraw the lines in such a way so that Atlanta is the entirety of Georgia, shit like that.
Well, it seems like Democrats are always the one that are screaming, "Hey, get the vote out, get the vote out, get the vote out." And it's because, yes, I believe that the less amount of gerrymandering, if any, is happening in the Democratic Party. They know that, hey, in order to win this thing, we just got to get people to vote. That's it. If we get people to vote, we will routinely win these things, and that's the key. But here's the thing that's pissing me off the most about this, Aaron, is that once again, all this affects, underrepresented, Black and brown folks. I mean, it goes to harm everything they're about. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to South Lake yet, the new podcast that NBC News put out. Oh my God. South Lake, Texas. If you guys, and I'm doing a plug for NBC News. There you go. If you get a chance to listen to that, brother, I'm telling you, it is exactly what's happening in the Noblesville school system, school board meetings. It happened in Carmel school board meetings. These are the type of things that, man, I'm telling you, when you are in control of these local type of government, entities, you control so much more. I mean, much as I respect Joe Biden, and we'll probably talk about Afghanistan here in a little bit, Joe Biden is not going to be able to do anything about South Lake, Texas. He's not going to be able to walk into a school board meeting and say to these people that they're ignorant, they're ignorant fools. He's not going to be able to do that. It's the local government, it's local entities that are driving this, man. And I think the Democratic Party they have no idea how to fix it. I just don't. I don't think they have any idea how to fix it.
Is this not democracy in action?
I mean, no, I don't think so. And here's why, is because democracy, I believe, is based upon the ability to have civil discourse and to have civil discourse over fact. This is not democracy. It's not democracy, man. I just don't think so. It may be a pseudo form of it, but democracy in its purest form, in my opinion, is the ability to have civil discourse over factual things, like things that actually happen or things that actually, that they're fact. We're having discussions about, critical race theory when nobody really understands what it is other than what they hear on Fox News or what they hear Trump spew. And so I'm just like, with this thing in Texas with abortion, they're listening to a narrative that has been activated from, I don't know, from however long ago, the time of Nixon. I don't know. No.
Along those lines, though,
I'm pissy tonight, man.
Wouldn't you say that there's never been democracy in America?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would. That didn't take me long to say.
No, I asked the question knowing what the answer was going to be.
Yeah, no, exactly, because
when
all men are created equal doesn't mean all men.
Correct. Yeah, I agree, and my one-time desire to be a lawyer comes out sometimes. Sometimes I ask a question just to get the answer on record.
You'd be a great Matthew McConaughey, man. I'm telling you, like in the movies and shit like that. Like you'd be all right.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, was it A Time to Kill?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. But no, you're right. I mean, the answer is
yes. He deserves to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Such a great movie. Damn, such a great movie. Man, I don't know. I think. Oh wow. Okay, so IO comes with it right here. He says, legit question: do Dems really want to win elections? Because especially on the federal level, they are more interested in bipartisan than actually delivering results, and that ain't going to get people excited to vote for you, man. Once again, I'm telling you, it is the GOP ground game that just.
So you're both suggesting that the Democrats begin cheating?
No, I'm not saying the Democrats begin cheating. I think the Democrats need to get on the American political page. They need to figure that out. They need to figure that shit out, man. Because think about it. If this is what politics is going to be, if the American people are going to allow politics to be this, which I absolutely think that there are so many more Americans who don't want to see this shit, but they won't do shit about it. If this is what it's going to be, then I tell my students all the time, in order to change the game, you've got to learn the game and you've got to play the game in order to get to a place in the game that you can change. And it just seems like the Democrats, they're like,
but
no,
hold on. The Democrats have all three branches of government right now. Or I'm sorry. I take that back.
They can't do shit because they Aaron, come on, man. Come on.
you're basically, what you're saying is, in order for the Democrats to have more success, they have to behave more like Republicans.
I hate saying that. I absolutely hate myself for saying that. But they need to, and this is a huge risk. I get it. It's a huge risk, but they need to primary the hell out of Cinnamon Mansion. They've got to, because you know what? I'd rather have a majority where all the people, or a minority where all the people are with me, than a majority where 2 or 3 hypocrites are stopping us from doing things that are best for the American people. I'm sorry. That's the way, because look at what the Republicans are doing. Nobody's stepping out of it. Even the people, even Liz Cheney was the only one, and they could sacrifice one. They could sacrifice one. The other dude on the committee, he's like a church mouse, dude. Quiet as a church mouse. Not saying anything. Said something at the very beginning, but something, so nebulous that didn't necessarily get him in trouble. We are playing checkers while the GOP is playing chess. I used to think, and I'm sorry, I'm losing my patience. I used to think that Nancy and Chuck, they knew what they were doing, that they were playing chess behind the scenes. And I hope they prove me wrong. But this shit, like what the hell, y'all? Like, what's going on? And our live video on Facebook has been interrupted, by the way. Our broadcast has been paused. So this piece is just for our YouTube folks. It said it should resume shortly. And maybe that's on my end.
I think it's on your end, because I've got no issues and just got another post. So
okay,
we'll continue on and see how it goes. I guess my
Yeah.
only response to that is, if you betray your own belief system and values and adopt the tactics of your enemy in order to win, then you have simply supplanted them.
Do you become your enemy?
Yeah.
Right. That's what you're saying.
This is the argument about, talking to people about, how do you win the war in Afghanistan? And so many people are like, well, you just turn it into a parking lot. So that makes us the Russians then. And look, Americans have committed atrocities and war crimes.
Oh, God.
So we've never been better. We just have a really good, PR manager for this stuff.
I think Jessica said it best. She said they have to pursue their agenda as fervently as Republicans do. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they have to adopt. I'm not saying that they have to adopt, like, let me think this out.
How do you defeat a gerrymandered district if you don't yourself gerrymander it?
No, I'm not sure you have to. I think that once again, it's common sense. I think it would be common sense. If the Democrats are all about, common sense solutions, then common sense would tell you when a district is gerrymandered and say, okay, this needs to be redrawn, man. Let's bring in, like you said, let's bring in a third party.
You have to be in power in order to do that. And Democrats are never going to be in power in Texas. It's never going to happen. Texas is Texas.
So you're saying give up?
No, I'm not saying give up, but
I just said that just to be an asshole, because you're right.
The second I lose my shit in a soccer game and begin assaulting another player because I didn't like the fact that they went after me, I'm now no better than them. And I have to live with that. And I don't feel good if I win the game because of it. I'm quite willing to recognize when the referee is allowing things, and I will play to the edge of that limit, but to just cheat, to openly break the rules, Nah.
But okay,
And on this level, I'm with you. In
yeah.
places like Georgia and North Carolina and Florida, where we've made inroads, yeah, the second you get a little bit of local control, you do have to bring it. You got to make it a priority and say, we're bringing in a third party to redistrict. That's fine. But this is one of many, many things. That gerrymandering is but one issue. I mean, the leaders of the local regions in Texas were duly elected. The people of Texas want them to do what they're doing. There's no outcry from moderate Republicans that this is a horrible thing. They have given up the ghost. This is what a certain segment wants. This is what it feels like to be in 1933 Germany.
This is what it feels like to be in Afghanistan right now. Think about it. I mean, this is what. No, I mean, no. I'm going to say this right now because it's like, we tried for 20 years to impose our will on a country that didn't want our will imposed on them. I mean, we did. And if we want to use this as a segue, that's fine. I mean, the fact is that we tried to, as much as we want to deny it, Biden's right. We tried nation building. We tried putting, a nation up that could reflect what we were when those people who were really in charge, that's not what they wanted. And the fact is that the people could have wanted that.
But the people of Afghanistan don't want it, and that's why I don't have much sympathy. And I have the same opinion about Texas. If Democrats gain power somehow in Texas, they'll be shouted down and intimidated because the people of Texas do not want that. Not the majority, very obviously. Austin is its own little oasis in the middle of a shithole. But by and large, the people of Texas want their guns, their gods, and their glory, and to close abortion clinics and to intimidate anybody who doesn't look or act like them. That's what the people of Texas want. It's not close. It's not like Biden lost Texas by 2. Wasn't a buzzer beater.
Right.
We have to acknowledge in this country that we've reached a point where not only does the other side have a difference of opinion from us, they actively hate us.
So I guess that brings it full circle, because using your analogy in soccer, okay, if the other team is, blatantly doing shit and is letting them, do you take the moral high ground and say, nope, we're not going to do it?
I would. I mean, if multiple abortion clinics said, we're going to continue providing abortions.
Okay.
I think that's what you do. I do think you'd break the law. I do think you say this is unjust, but authority will not be on their side, and there will be sacrifice. There will be punishment. And I wish I had an answer. I don't have an answer.
I know, man.
I don't know how to defeat this. Because for all the rhetoric, it's still not Nazi Germany. I don't have to pick up a gun yet.
Right. I want to say something because I want to take your temperature on this, man. I feel really uneasy, man, going into 2022. I mean, I really feel uneasy. Like, I feel like, we are in a spot to where we thought that, wow, the worst is behind us. Woo. I don't know, man. I don't want to be a downer. What are you looking at?
Well, there are 2 hot takes. And first off, I totally agree with one of them. A Time to Kill outside of Samuel L. Jackson is not good. It is not a very good movie. It really isn't a very good movie. It's an opportunity for, if I recall, Matthew McConaughey, Kevin Spacey, and Samuel L. Jackson
Sandra Bullock.
to delete.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah,
What the hell?
yeah,
Are you
she's
guys
in it.
forgetting Sandra Bullock?
No, I'm not forgetting her. She's just forgettable in the movie.
Oh, Roark. She's Roark, dude. Anyway, go
Yeah,
ahead.
but
Sorry.
that's McConaughey saying that. Matthew McConaughey, Kevin Spacey, and Samuel L. Jackson get the best lines in the movie. It's just not a very well done movie. I'm sorry. It's not.
Okay.
I need Troy to follow up on this because he thinks Biden should resign, and I have no idea why anyone who isn't a ridiculously conservative Republican would say Joe Biden should resign right now. So Troy, feel free to follow up.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. Let's
and I assume that's in reference to Afghanistan more than what's going on in Texas.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I'm sorry that I got to say that's absurd because Joe Biden simply agreed to the plan that got laid out for him by Trump and chose to go with it because the end goal here was get out of Afghanistan, and now we're out. Now we may or may not have to go back at some point, but I'm gonna say something shitty. Afghanistan is not worth saving.
I.e. Texas.
Well, Texas is worth saving because I got to deal with Texas. I don't have to deal with Afghanistan.
Right. I got to have a layover in Dallas whenever I fly to.
If the Taliban does something,
fly to Vegas,
we know where the drones take off from.
That's true. That is true.
And look, the people of Afghanistan never liked us. They're not gonna like us. So why go there and help them out?
Troy. No, I'm with you. I just there was. I heard this on the news, and this was such a great explanation of it. There was no right way to get out of this war.
There's no good way to lose a war, people. This is what losing a war looks like.
Yep, that's it. And we didn't want to face that. Gerald Ford, when we got out of Vietnam, Gerald Ford should have came on TV and delivered a speech just like Joe Biden did.
Yeah.
And say, guys, look, we need to learn from this shit. This should not happen ever again. You know what? We screwed up. It was terrible. We shouldn't do this. It makes black people. Io, dang, bruh. Okay. All right. No, he's.
Yeah, of course it does. It's a white savior movie. Of course it is. Yeah, that's fine. Troy, okay. I guess I'll say this. Everybody wants to criticize how this is gone. But nobody actually has a solution for how it could have gone better. We abided by we extended the timeline.
Yeah.
We got out the people we were supposed to get out. If there are people from Sacramento still there, that's their fucking problem.
Yeah. I think
they made it pretty clear how to get to the airport. They set up back channels to do so. And I think this is a whole bunch of shitbag conservatives trying to make a point. And if you want to get them out, go send your own team in.
Also, I want to speak to that. We'll be hit here at home over the next 2-3 years, and it's all about. I mean, Troy, I just think that this conflict, if Bush in 2003 would have said, you know what, we're done, and we pull out, I think it would be reasonable to think that we probably would have been hit in 2004 or 5. I think that if we did not get bin Laden in 2011, I think that the attempt would spark.
I want an explanation as to how it's on Biden.
Well, and that's the thing.
We didn't make
I don't think it's
Joe Biden didn't make the agreement with the Taliban. Mike Pompeo met in secret with them, and then Trump invited him to fucking Camp David.
Yeah. Jessica, again, I agree with you. It was not a winnable war. It was a.
We originally went in for one reason. Originally went in for one reason, and that was to attempt to eradicate the Taliban. And by and large, for a short period of time, we did. It was the sticking around. It was defense contractors, and then ex post facto nation building, which is not why we went there, and then decided, okay, after the fact, let's do a little bit of that. They didn't want us there, and it makes the Taliban come back. because
Absolutely.
now it's a recruiting video.
Yeah.
And if you want to blame Joe Biden for having been a senator at the time and then vice president and not advocating for more at that point, not advocating more to withdraw, that's a legit discussion. But Joe Biden abided by a timeline set by a previous precedent, extended it mainly so we could disable all the aircraft and vehicles that we're having to leave behind because there's no way to get out the millions of dollars of equipment. But they made it. Nobody's flying an Apache or a Chinook out of those things. They might get a little bit of technology, but if you think the Taliban's got a group of engineers working on shit somewhere, I got bad news for you.
Yeah. I think this lies on the past 20 years of the American presidency. I think if you want to spread it, Troy, that's exactly where it lies.
Bush deserves blame. Obama deserves blame. Trump deserves blame, and Biden does deserve some blame. This is happening on his watch. But these suggestions of him, he should resign. He's the only president who's actually tackled it head on and said, this was not a winnable war. We're going to get out, and I'm not going to make the evacuation last forever. And by the way, what we've managed to do in the last month is amazing. We got over 100,000 people out. We were doing C-17 flights or C-10 flights or something like that. Michael Meade posted it every 45 minutes with thousands of people.
Yeah, it was.
If you didn't know how to get to Kabul, if you didn't see this coming and didn't put your ass close to Kabul, I'm sorry, the individuals there bear some responsibility too. First off, why the fuck you in Afghanistan?
True.
Did you see the British kid fucking about?
No.
Oh, he's fucking live tweeting. I don't know what's going on. And eventually the English government was like, dude, either you get on this next fucking plane or it's your problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time finding sympathy for people who knew where the airport was and didn't try to get there.
I think for me, the scenes of, the Afghan people who want out, it's heartbreaking. It is sad. It's heartbreaking because those folks, they desperately do not want to be under Taliban rule. I don't know. You're right. I don't know what the answer is for that, because I can't imagine having a daughter. I can't imagine having my mother. I can't imagine having a sister who are there go back to what is being done. But once again, and I'm not trying to draw parallels between Sharia law and the bullshit that's happening in Texas.
I am.
But okay, but damn it, at some point you have to let them be who they are.
Yes.
And you just got to let them be. And you know what? Texas gets to become the new West Virginia. From where I grew up,
which is ironic, because you know why West Virginia became a state? It was all the people who left Virginia because they disagreed with continuing slavery.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
West Virginia started out as I won't say liberal bastion, but certainly a group of people who did not abide by slavery.
Yep. Absolutely.
And Io raises a good point. What Biden's doing now, wasn't that what Republicans wanted? Yeah. They said they wanted to get out. They're sick of all these never-ending wars and nation building. And here's the further hypocrisy. They're talking about all these Afghans we left behind. But then when you talk about, hey, you want to take in some Afghan refugees? Well, no, they could be terrorists. Well, make up your fucking mind. Make up your mind.
I saw what you posted, and good on Governor. We said, hey, we're going to send, we're going to take some, refugees at Camp Atterbury. Good on him. Glad he did it. Do not read the comment section. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Because it is the same. It literally is the Temptation, or Four Tops, the same old song, man. Like that. It makes you sick on the inside to think that people, don't see other people as people. It's horrible. Oh God. This is heavy, dude. This is heavy. The Afghan war in 2 images: people jumping off the towers on 9/11 and Afghans dangling from planes. Absolutely, Jessica. This is on the American presidency. It sits squarely on the shoulders of the American presidency. You cannot convince me otherwise. I am a strong liberal Democrat in 2 Democratic presidents, as well as 2 Republican, but 2 Democratic presidents. No, I'm going to say 1 Democrat, because you know what? Joe Biden did the right thing. We may debate until the end of his presidency and past it. We may debate that, you know what? You could have tweaked it here. You could tweak it, but
Sure, you could have.
He absolutely did the right thing, man. He did the right thing.
If you can't acknowledge that there was no good way to leave this country, then you have to acknowledge that no matter who was in charge was going to be open to a certain level of criticism. Yeah. Now, I freely admit I'm not going to go all in on Joe Biden because he's earned my respect, and his decision-making has been light years better than Donald Trump. I would be giving him harsher criticism because the guy's a fucking moron. At the same time, Joe Biden went off the intelligence that he was getting, that there's no way the Taliban's going to be able to take the country this quickly. The UK didn't even believe. Their intelligence told them it wasn't going to happen this quickly, which tells me 2 things. Either our intelligence really isn't as good as it could be, maybe, or the second this deal got done, the Taliban was negotiating with the local Afghan military and saying, look, we can either kill you or you can just lay down your arms.
You can just move to the side.
And that's exactly what has happened. So given that Donald Trump and Mike Pompeo negotiated this deal behind the back of the Afghan government in secret, I mean, what was Biden supposed to do? And now you got Republicans saying, why is Joe Biden making deals with the Taliban to escort Americans to the airport? Because the Taliban's in charge, folks.
Yeah.
And they're in charge because we've decided that we can't run this country. What are we supposed to stay forever? And now we got to work with this is the thing that gets me is you can't have it both ways. You simply cannot have it both ways. You either acknowledge that the Taliban is the government now, or you want to stay there forever.
Yep. I mean, think about the way we treated Idi Amin, right? Did we really want to go in? Did we really want to challenge? Did we really want to upset, what he did? No. I mean, we played ball. We played ball with him. We played ball with Saddam Hussein for a while. Why?
You have to. They're in charge of the country.
They're in charge of the country. Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then let's go invade Russia. We know Putin is a jerk. We know he's a terrible monster. Let's go take North Korea. Let's do it. If we're going to be all high and mighty about this bullshit, then we need to be high and mighty and righteous about everything. Well, but no, we want to jump on this because a Democratic president made a decision that other presidents didn't want to make.
Yep.
That's it.
And it's a tough decision. And this is what presidents are supposed to do. And he does have to live with this. But some of the criticism is accurate. And I'm fine with that. Some of the criticism is completely absurd.
Yep.
And I can't abide by that. And Io hits it on the head. This is the continued hubris of American foreign policy. You still got Republicans going, well, if I were in charge, I'd just go in and kill bad guys. Would you? First off, fuckface, you didn't join the army before, so I have no belief that you'd do it now. And secondly, we've been kicking the Taliban and that we've never lost a battle in Afghanistan. We lost this war on the ground in the hearts and minds of the Afghan people because they never wanted us there in the first place. We're just as much their enemy as is the Taliban. And there will probably be a terrorist attack.
And that's a good point, Jessica. They don't have oil.
That's why we used them as proxies in our war with Russia in the 70s and 80s. If we actually gave a shit, we'd have invaded and taken over largely like we did in Iraq for a while.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Damn.
Well, I think there were a lot of stoppages in the first half because I think we're just now getting to halftime.
Oh my God. Is this the Hey Aaron shot? Is that what this? Jeez, dude.
Well, I mean, I think at this point we're beating a dead horse. Although, Jessica, you raise a good point about the poppies, but the irony is going to be that it goes back and forth. We paid the Taliban like Clinton paid the Taliban $25 million to stop producing opium. And the very next year, Colombia had a record crop of it. And then the Taliban has realized that publicly they're opposed to it, but it's financing them. They're absolutely financing them, and they're just not sharing it with us anymore.
Yeah. Man, I just let me say this one thing too. Troy, look, man, dude, you still our boy, still love you, but man, love to have some more discussion about this.
Oh yeah, and again, you can't. That's a tossed off line in a comment section to something. I'm not going all in on Troy. Right. There's a lot more nuance to this, and I know he knows it. I just, I don't agree with that take, but he doesn't agree with the take that A Time to Kill is a bad movie. And I mean, he's wrong, but still.
Whoa, I'm with him on that now.
I know, but the two of you can be wrong together, and IO can teach you.
Dude, I loved seeing Kiefer Sutherland get what he deserved, bro. I loved it. It was cool.
Okay, I'm not saying I don't enjoy the movie, but it's not the fucking Godfather, man.
No, it's okay. I give you that. It's
not a great film.
Right.
It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable movie.
Anyway, do you want to do this shot, man, before we go?
Apparently, I need too many. But yes. I don't have a new group to shout out. So if you've got a shout out, go for it. And then I want to do the same thing we've been doing the last couple of weeks, just as a reminder. So if you got somebody you want to yell to, go for it, man.
Wow. You know what? I want to give a shout out to those school districts in Florida who have a spine and who are saying, fuck DeSantis. Guys, listen, we're with you. You're trying to do is protect kids. That's all you're trying to do. And you know what? Cheers to you. Hang in there. There. The American people, most of the American people, I believe, we got your back.
Agreed. So, I got nothing to add to that other than totally agree. And I have a feeling that Biden is going to figure out how to use some of the COVID money to make sure that those teachers get paid. Also, the ban is in defiance, of the next highest court said you can't do that. And they're still going ahead with it. So that's going to be tied up for a while. So let me just say, reminder once again, the Wendy L. Hudson Appendix Cancer Awareness Foundation, their pub crawl is Saturday, September 18th. Go to wendylhudson.org if you'd like to donate. Get you a t-shirt. I think there'll be t-shirts. There might be t-shirts. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Almost more mine than last year.
And then look, in 17 days, who knows what's going to be going on. So I can understand if you don't want to gather in a small place like a bar right now. Yeah. We got the Delta surgeon even the vaxxed folks, if there can be breakthroughs that you can get it and pass it along. Yep. And not get sick yourself. So totally understand, but go to wendylhudson.org, donate, be a part of it. It's such a great organization. They're great people. Yep. And JoJo and Jen are doing just the angels work. So shout out to everybody that we just mentioned and everybody who thinks A Time to Kill is a good film.
Slanty. Okay.
Whoa. Oh. Whoa.
The sweet nectar of the gods right there, man.
Holy shit.
Hey, we're not monetizing this, are we? Okay, no, we're not.
Cooper's Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Dude, we're never monetizing this.
I was gonna say that right there, y'all. That right there. Holy shit.
The JMO's the good stuff.
That's a great shot. Oh,
I every time I go to my local liquor store, I grab the stuff in the bucket that they're giving away for $1 or $2. That's why I was drinking Southern Comfort the last couple of weeks, because they were 2 for $1.
Okay. SoCos.
And you know, 4 shots for $2 is a pretty decent deal. This is actually decent bourbon. I'm not so sure I should be shooting it. I think it's probably best with some lemonade or some Coca-Cola. But
man.
wow, that kicked things up a notch. So
I was gonna say. So ladies and gentlemen, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think we've kind of beaten the Texas Taliban and the actual Taliban horses to death a little bit here. And you know what? I do want to say this. I don't want to sound so callous. I am sad about the loss of life in Afghanistan. I think it is a travesty, and more could and should have been done. But I also have an expectation that people try to help themselves and appreciate the help that was given. You know, I acknowledge we probably shouldn't have been there for as long as we were. Absolutely. That doesn't change the fact that we did have a righteous mission at first. There was a terrorist organization there. Now, again, long conversation about the fact that we basically created that terrorist organization and trained them to do what they were doing. You know, this is a chicken or the egg. It's a chicken or the egg kind of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There is. I guess that's why I responded the way I did to the Biden should resign, because in my opinion, such a straight line like that ignores the number of factors that go into this. And I don't think it's fair that Joe Biden should take the blame for 20 years of bad foreign policy, when ultimately the end result of the United States no longer being in Afghanistan is something that the vast majority of Americans want.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That's all I got to say about that until the next time. And I
got to say about that.
I think perhaps you've got something you'd like to share with us.
I do, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached the Hey Aaron segment of our show tonight. And I think tonight several people can participate. I don't know, Aaron, like it's the start of college football. You know, EPL is back full swing, Bundesliga, you know, La Liga. They're all back, even though we're on a break right now for the EPL. You know, sports ball is in the air. And
Rasenball sport.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think tonight's is going to I think it's going to inspire you, my friend. It's going to inspire you. So real quick, this is Jessica. I love my bourbon. Bullet rye. Bullet rye.
Yeah.
Ooh, and then America is basically Marvel comic universe Tony Stark, creating our own villains because of our hubris. Yes.
At least Tony learned a lesson.
That's true. That is true. So without any further ado, Aaron, I am going to ask your opinion about 3 very famous dunks, slam dunks in our recent history. And I want you to tell me your favorite dunk and why. And I'm going to show you video. I'm going to show you video of these dunks that I have carefully chosen. And none of them come from Michael Jordan or from LeBron James.
You know what the biggest missed dunk of all time is?
Oh, man, I'm almost scared that
Hillary Clinton on Donald Trump.
Oh, wow. And with that, ladies and gentlemen,
It's what I do.
that's what you do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the first one. Watch. Here's what I think we're going to do, Aaron. Watch it, but we're going to watch all three, and then I'll take your comments on them. Okay. So here we go.
Your screen is blurry as shit.
It won't be. It won't be.
Okay.
I mean, it just is what it is. Here we go.
All right. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
We got to see this again. I mean,
one of the best poster dunks of all time. No question. And it was, I mean, it happened in international competition. And by the way, the guy Vince Carter jumped over is 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
Now he's a trash French basketball player, but he's 7 foot tall and literally puts up no defense. But Vince Carter just dangled on him.
Just unleashed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was embarrassing. Okay.
Kevin Garnett's response to that is the best thing too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because Vince Carter almost punches him in the face.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's like,
which would have been funny because Kevin Garnett probably would have punched him back.
All right. So here's the second one. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this dunk, do you know why I picked this dunk?
Because Sean Kemp has like 15 children and needs money.
No.
Also, because Sean Kemp is from Indiana.
No, dude. It is simply because of this right here. I'm going to show you. Here it is, right here. Bam, and then that right there. It's like, oh.
The pointing at him is cool. The fact that he basically rocks the baby on the way up. I mean, seriously, if he did a dunk like that in a dunk competition, you'd be impressed by it. And then you're like, he dunked on a dude. He dunked on a dude while rocking it.
Man. Okay. All right. And so last one I want to show. Here we go.
Ooh,
I know what you're talking about, Io.
Because he's 6'10", he can run, he can shoot, he can.
Ooh, I might have to look that one up, Io.
Yeah, you need to, bro.
Way you can stop it.
Ball against Westbrook. Screen from Jordan.
They're not calling anything. They're really letting them play. It's a physical game.
Oh. I mean, the sheer athleticism.
I mean, you could choose a lot. That Blake Griffin's got a lot you could choose from. The dude's.
I know. But just the athleticism. Like, look, he stopped. He's literally stopped, and he finds a way to just be like,
well, he actually uses. He uses. Is that Kendrick Perkins?
Yeah.
He actually uses Perkins' momentum to his advantage because he goes up and then he basically second elevates. It's pretty impressive. It's really quite impressive. One of my favorite dunks of all time I can't advocate for anymore because the dude just went off the deep end as a crazy motherfucker.
Is this the one? Here we go. All right, here we go. This is the one.
Oh, yeah.
This is for you. Ah, crap. See, I'm cheap because we don't monetize this, so I'm not buying it. I'm not, no.
You're not ever
watching
paying
ads.
for YouTube. Sorry, YouTube.
Here we go. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Oh. No. Oh.
At least this guy tried to play defense, Io. I get you, because I get your point. Like when you see a guy coming, you're just like, get the fuck out of the way. I got dunked on by Greg Graham in a JV game in high school. Do you remember Greg Graham went to IU?
Yeah.
I got dunked on by Greg Graham because I used to be the bottom of the 1-3-1 zone.
Oh
So
man,
if we got scored on, I would take the ball out. I inbounded it. Somebody immediately threw the pass away. And all I saw was Greg Graham's jockstrap coming straight at my face, and then the bottom of his shoes. As all I saw. And I was just like, there's nothing I could do. There was no trying to take a charge, and it happened so quick. I was like, I can't even get out of the way. I'm just getting dunked on by this dude.
So, hey, Aaron, out of those four, your best posterizing dunk out of those four. What do you think, my friend?
The Vince Carter dunk is iconic just because of the circumstances of it in the Olympics. And it really, I mean, Vince Carter is 973 years old and can still dunk. It's amazing. It really is. Dude still got hops to this day.
Yeah.
And I'm going with it because it was one of the original three, but Baron Davis
was massive.
Baron Davis is like 6'1", 6'2". He's not a big dude, and he's dunking on like a guy that's like 6'10", and it's nasty. That's who was the point guard for the Suns for the longest time? Kevin Johnson. Oh no, Evan, you're gone. Or maybe I'm gone. Somebody's gonna have to tell. If you're a basketball player that is known for taking charges, all that tells me is you make bad business decisions. You're not wrong, Io. You're not wrong. Well, I feel like we've lost our friend Evan, or perhaps we've lost me. So I'm going to continue on and take us out. The Baron Davis dunk is badass. So I think I'm going to go with that just because, I mean, I do love the Vince Carter dunk on the French dude. Yeah, I think Evan's gone. So I'm going to continue on. I'm going to take you out. It's a sad day. We have left people behind in Afghanistan. The Texas restrictive voting stuff, the abortion. It's a big bummer. There's no way around it. And all I can say is all of us tuning in here do so because we sort of tacitly agree that there's a better world possible that we would like to. That's what we're striving for. The American experiment at its best is supposed to be pursuing an ideal that may or may not ever be attained. It may not be achievable. But that does not mean you don't try for it. Doesn't mean you don't try to stop gerrymandering. Doesn't mean you don't try to win Texas. You do. But I don't think you sacrifice your principles to do it, because then you cease to be who you are. So we're trying to be the best of this country. Hey, guess who's back? Guess who's back? Back again. Evan's back with his Wi-Fi friend.
Hey.
Howdy, sir. Well, at least this time it wasn't me, so therefore you can reconnect because
There you go.
I carry the feed. So while you were gone, I said I do go with the Vince Carter's dunk is iconic. Baron Davis, that's badass. That reminds me of Kevin Johnson. I think Kevin Johnson dunked on Akeem Olajuwon, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yes.
And that's awesome because KJ's like 6'1".
Yeah.
And it's nasty. And he goes up and like forearms him and then comes over the top of him. So it's badass. But also KJ's a stupid ass piece of shit politician now. So fuck him. So I'm not going to advocate for that at all.
So the reason why I came back was so I could say this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for our Hey Aaron segment. Boy, Aaron, the only thing that I wish you would be like more open with the way you feel about things. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my second favorite segment of the evening is when Aaron is able to leave us with some good words, man. So Aaron, you got the final word, brother. What are you going to leave us with tonight?
Well, as I was saying, it was a tough day. You wake up and you're like, damn, Texas is being Texas. There's still some bullshit going on in Afghanistan. New Orleans is underwater. My bad. New Orleans is underwater. Bonnaroo got canceled because the entire festival fields are underwater. There's a lot of shit to be down about, but like I said, we're tuning in here. We're talking because by and large, we want to try to live up to the ideal of the American experiment, to say all men are created equal, all men and women. I know that the term at the time meant everybody, well, tried to mean everybody, but let's truly be inclusive, not just men, not just women, everybody. And it's almost an unachievable ideal, but that doesn't mean you don't strive for it. Perfection is not possible, but man, if you can get close, you've done good work. So we should still try to win Texas. We should still try to defeat gerrymandering. We should be trying to do all these things in the world and spreading, as much positivity as possible. But we can't sacrifice our principles to get there. We've got to do it by continuing to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And I know that the earnestness and the desire of all of you and us and the people we're trying to surround ourselves with believe in that too. And, like Martin Luther King said, hate can't defeat hate. Only love can defeat hate. So we're going to have to figure that out. There's no easy solution. There's no easy solution to losing a war. There's no easy solution to defeating a group of people who do hate you and think you shouldn't exist, think you're second class or not even a class citizen. That's a tough one. But I believe the phrase is the moral arc of the universe bends towards righteousness. If I have quoted that correctly, I apologize if I didn't get it all correct, but I think I got close. And that's what we're striving for. We're striving to do as much good in this incredibly brief amount of time that we've got. The 40 to 70 to 100 years is a drop in the bucket to the thousands of years that we've been on this planet, to the millions of years this planet has existed, and to hopefully the 1,000 more years that's going to go on. And hopefully we can set some sort of example for others to follow and, build good. There's always going to be evil. There's always going to be bad. And so long as when you see it, you point it out and you go, ha ha, and try to do something about it, count yourself in the right column, folks. So,
hey, Aaron,
yeah,
real quick. I feel almost ashamed for not saying something. And I want to say this. When I first went to New Orleans.
Oh, we're going to have to get Evan some new Wi-Fi. Well, I know where Evan's going with this. So I will just wrap up and say thank you all for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to share this time with everybody. And so long as we're around, we're going to keep doing it. So thank you all. And hopefully we all weather this spike in the Delta. We can get things under control. We can convince more people to get vaxxed. We'll get our boosters when they're available, and we'll keep it on. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Totally appreciate you. Love you all, and take care. Black people vote.